If you're a comic creator, you need to do this one thing in order to get better. Draw every day. But do you really need to draw every day? What if you can't draw every day? What if, say it quietly now, you don't want to draw every day? Does that mean that you'll never get better fast enough, or that you're some sort of fraud because you don't want to draw at every opportunity? Well, no and no. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the advice, draw every day, and why I think it's kind of stupid. I don't want to bury the lead with this video, so I'll make this point now to get it out of the way. If you draw every day, you will get better faster. The more often you practice a skill, the faster you'll get better at that skill. It works with basically everything. So why do I think the advice is stupid? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because there's a few reasons that I think the draw every day advice is kind of dumb. And the first reason is that a lot of people are simply unable to draw every day. It could be because they literally don't have the time to draw every single day because of school or work or other responsibilities. Or it could be that they have plenty of time, but they have absolutely zero mental or physical energy by the end of the day, and so the only thing they're able to do is collapse in a heap. So why is it stupid advice? Well, because it ignores those people. And I have no doubt that a portion of my audience falls into those categories. There are some days where I fall in this category as well. And it used to make me feel pretty guilty and like I'll never progress fast enough. I made an entire short animation about that feeling, which you can watch on the channel. I felt like I didn't have the time and energy that my peers had at university, being an older student with a daughter with special needs. But then I realized drawing every day doesn't literally have to mean draw every day. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that shortly. But first I want to talk about the second reason I dislike the advice, draw every day. Because some of you, as much as you might adore the idea of becoming a comic creator, there are some days where you just don't want to draw. You've got all the time, all the energy, but no desire to pick up a pencil. And I get it. I mean, I love to draw, and it's by far my favorite thing to do. But on some days, I want to just play video games or play the guitar or sit on the sofa and watch YouTube videos with my wife. We exclusively watch my own channel. I need to bump those watch hours up somehow, and the ad revenue sucks. Man, imagine if that was true. Anyway, because I would have really needed to hear this, I'm going to say it. It is totally normal to not want to draw for a day or two. It doesn't mean that you're not a real artist or that you're a fraud, because real artists should want to draw every single day. So if you ever catch yourself thinking that, then stop it, because it's not true. You're still an artist, and you're wanting to chill and not draw doesn't make you any less of one, and it's entirely valid. So, draw every day. I don't like it. And I don't like it because I used to think that draw every day means get better every day. And that means draw with intention and study the fundamentals and move out of your comfort zone. Don't get me wrong, all of that is incredibly important for growth as an artist. I'm not dismissing those things or saying that they're bad things. But what I am saying is that instead of thinking about it as draw every day or get better every day, think about it like this. Take part in the act of drawing every day. That sounds like the same thing now that I've said it out loud, but it isn't. Because taking part in the act of drawing every day could be you drawing a couple of parallel lines on a scrap piece of paper. It could be you drawing a couple of cubes in a notebook while you're at your 9 to 5, and then turning those cubes into monsters, which is a really fun exercise. It could be you drawing circles or ellipses over and over again as you try to block out the screams from your awful children. I kid, I'm sure they're lovely. All of that counts. You taking part in the act of drawing is simply you making a mark on the page. Are they intentional marks? Not always, no. But are they improving your hand-eye coordination? Yeah. Are they improving your line work? Yeah. Are they improving the control you exert from your elbow and your shoulder, particularly when you're doing the circle practices? Yeah. The point is that every little helps, and you don't have to always commit yourself to a session every time. You can mix and match how and when you draw. Some days it might be a little bit more intense, where you study and you practice and you try and figure out the fundamentals of drawing. Whereas on other days you may only be able to doodle on the back of a napkin. But it all counts. I think one of the reasons why a lot of artists kind of obsess about this is because we feel like we're in a race, and that if we don't keep up, we're going to be left behind. But art is not a sprint. It's not even a marathon, to be fair, because even marathons have endpoints. If you want to be a better artist, it's not about reaching an endpoint, you just need to keep coming back to it. And you won't keep coming back to it if you put all of this pressure on yourself that every time you need to draw with intentionality, or you need to study the fundamentals, or you need to draw for a certain period of time, otherwise it's not worth doing it at all. Not to mention the fact that stress will build up if you keep neglecting other areas of your life in order to crowbar drawing sessions in. The fact is, the artist who has enough self-awareness to develop a healthy relationship with their art practice is the artist who will outlast all of the hustle bros who tell you that drawing every day and neglecting other areas of your life is the sacrifice that you need to make in order to become a professional artist. Now, I made a joke earlier about ad revenue on YouTube. It wasn't a joke. Ad revenue is really crap. So if you've enjoyed this video, or it's helped, or any of my other videos have helped, then consider supporting me on Patreon. You get stuff in return like early access to these videos, behind the scenes looks at my comic, and extra comic tips that you can use that aren't quite video length worthy, but are still helpful. Plus, I recently did a workshop on social media for comic creators, which was exclusive to the Creators Circle tier, and you can watch the on-demand version of that as well as my previous workshops if you sign up. I'd appreciate it if you clicked on the link in the description and at least had a look. Enough promo, back to the video. Now, this is quite a difficult topic to talk about from my vantage point, because the fact remains that if you draw every day, you will get better faster. I can't really avoid that. And I think that's the danger that a lot of artists are faced with, because the incentives are clearly there. You want to get better as quickly as possible, so in order to do that, you need to draw every day. But it's a completely pointless exercise if, for you, drawing every day is going to burn you out. And the trouble is that even if you talk about this subject of drawing every day, or whether you should or shouldn't draw every day, or what draw every day even looks like, most people will only remember those 3 words: draw every day. A lot of people won't remember the details or context around it. And I know that that was the case with me as well, because whenever I would watch videos from a really established artists who said that in order to become a professional or even a semi-professional, you need to draw for X hours every single day. And I took that advice literally, because in my opinion, I think it was given literally in my defense, but I was also in my mid-20s and I was quite vulnerable and very impressionable, especially for artists who I looked up to and aspired to be like one day. And as a result, it really damaged my mental and physical health because I took it literally. And ultimately, it didn't make me progress faster, because all I ended up with was a bad back, a bad neck, and complete and utter mental exhaustion. If you take care of yourself as a priority as an artist, then I will see you in 10 years' time. And between now and then, all of those little 5 to 10 minute drawing exercises that you've done are going to add up massively. Will it be fast? Probably not. I don't think progress is ever as fast as we want it to be. But are you more likely to still even be an artist in 10 years' time if you take care of yourself? Yeah. Whereas if you just focus purely on progression, purely on the numbers, purely on just drawing as much as you physically can every single day, I don't know if you'll be there in 10 years' time. You might not even physically be able to draw, let alone anything else. I think the most likely scenario for you is that you'll just lose your passion and you'll burn out and you won't pick it up again, making all this kind of pointless. I mean, art is difficult enough as it is. We're often our own worst enemy. So putting ourselves in a position like forcing ourselves to draw every day is not going to help, because the second we're not able to draw that day, we're going to beat ourselves up because we've not lived up to our own expectations, or even the expectations of people that we don't even know. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents on the subject of draw every day. It's good advice because it works. If you draw every day, or find a way to draw every day, or take part in the act of drawing, you will get better. You'll become more confident, you'll become more competent. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to take care of yourself as a priority, because it is your body and mind that is the vehicle that creates the art in the first place. So if you don't take care of those things first, then it doesn't matter how often you draw. I hope that helped. There's a video. Please watch it. Bye.